had, right? Was that the right thing to do? No, it was not the right thing to do. So we just have to listen. These conversations need to be had, but also women, we have to be able to listen to a man when they do come tell us something, a vulnerable situation, and we can't judge. So it's like treat a man like you want to be treated. If you don't want to be judged, then you shouldn't judge a man as well. But it's all it is the maturity level. That's all it is. It's just my
And the
opinion.
willingness to actually accept it, that what we're saying, and actually go through with whatever the thing was that happened. So like if a man comes to a woman and says, what you said, you know what I'm saying, I don't think it was right, you know, you said it a little harsh, hurt my feelings a little bit, you know what I mean? The woman has to be able to, one, not look at him like he a punk.
Mm-hmm.
Two, be able to fix whatever it is that was bothering him. Like, don't go
Mm-hmm.
there again. Don't say that phrase, or speak to him this way or that way again, because it's not what he likes. Because we have to do the same thing to you. If you come to us and say, "Hey, I don't like this, I don't like that," we pretty much gotta pretty much change it. But women aren't willing to change it.
Yeah, but also what about men? When we talk about men too, when a woman expresses herself, we understand acknowledgement, but when a woman expresses herself, what's the first thing I do? You doing too much, or you're out of control, or things like that. So how are y'all making a safe place for us as well? If I come to you and I say, hey, this is bothering me, are you going to shut me down? Are you going to say I'm doing too much? You're going to be willing to listen to me? Why do men do that?
This is a prime example of men not being able to express themselves, because you just flipped that to where it's about the woman. You just flipped
Yeah.
that. We went from saying, hey, this is a man's topic. We're going to talk about how a man can actually be in a safe space to speak. And then when we start talking about that, then you flipped it to, well, women, what about women? When women do, when are we going to be able to have, when are we going to be able to have our time and our chance to actually express ourselves without it being flipped to you all?
I hear you, but I think it goes both ways. It definitely goes both ways. It goes both ways. You don't think so?
It goes both ways, but at the time of the conversation, it's about the man. We're talking
Right.
about the man right now. It got flipped over to the woman. You know why? Because women are uncomfortable hearing about men's feelings. So automatically, they want to flip it to them because they are the ones who show feelings, and we're not supposed to. So you want to
No.
flip it over to you. So you want to flip it over to you because you just flipped it over to women. We was talking about men, and then you flipped it over to, well, women have feelings. We know y'all have feelings too. We understand that y'all have feelings. But this is not. This conversation is not about the women. This is about men safe space. Safe space for men to express their feelings.
So the reason I'm doing that, okay, so I know, but the reason why I'm doing that is to show an example, right? Seriously, it's to show an example of what always happens in relationships, right? I understand that for me as a woman, I have to give my man a safe place. Totally understand that. But what I was doing was showing you what always happens. We are women. For us women, we are very self-centered, and I'll be honest, we're very self-centered, and we want the attention on us. That's true. We
Oh
want
wow!
you to see.
I'm glad this is
We
being
want to
taped.
be.
I'm glad
We
this
want
is being recorded.
we want to
I'm
be
so happy this
seen.
is being recorded.
Yes, we want to be seen. So me showing that is, I know some women out there thinking, well, what about the women? Because it always happens. It always happens. But again, as we were talking about the men, we have to have a safe place for a man to speak and a man to understand. And a lot of times, this is where I see where mental health comes into to play when we don't allow the man to speak. Because what do they do? For a prime example, a family member of mine went through the same thing as a man. Substance abuse happened because guess what? He couldn't talk to anybody. So if you can't even talk to your woman, that's kind of why I'm gonna be honest. That's why sometimes cheating happens. You can't talk to your woman. Guess what? You're gonna go out and talk to somebody who's gonna listen to you, and then you're wondering why your man's not talking to you, why your man is not with you at night, Why is he on the phone with somebody else? Because guess what? You're not giving him that stability and that safe place for him to talk to you. So, yeah, I had
I'm
to
glad you said that
turn
because
it in there.
that was the key part of the conversation, the key part of the discussion, because nobody gets into that part where it can cause mental stress. That mental stress that is put on us during that time frame, it's hard. And then we're not able to actually express ourselves the way we want to, and we're mentally drained or mentally stressed, or the anxiety comes on and stuff like that. And then when the dude just snaps,
Yep. And y'all are supposed to be
it's
strong,
bad.
right? Y'all are always supposed to be strong. Y'all are not supposed to show weakness. That's how that's how it is. That's how it is. I've always
That's
been
what we were
taught that
taught.
the man is supposed to be the leader, he's supposed to be strong. The woman is supposed to take care of the kids and sit. That's how I was, that's what I was around. And that's sad to say, but that's what it's about. I never saw my male family members cry. I never seen that unless something bad happened. But then you also saw the pain in their eyes. So you knew something was going on, but they never disclosed it. So we have to
But when
start,
they
we have to,
cried, when they did
yeah.
cry,
Mhm.
but when they did cry and you saw them, it wasn't it was an accidental scene. It wasn't like they was going
Yeah.
to show you they was crying. They didn't want to ever
Yeah.
show that part.
Yeah, but when they did, it was like,
Yeah, no.
what you crying for?" And like,
Right.
I'm serious. That's how I was like, "What are you crying for?" Like, but it let me realize like they needed to cry because it was so much built up, so many built up emotions that I knew nothing about. So it was just unfamiliar to see a man cry. So when I did it, I did not respond to it properly. So that's kind of what my marriage ended, honestly, because I didn't know how to be a woman to my man. So
Say, I'm not going to speak on but what you're saying is definitely true, and it goes into our next topic a little bit because um, women. The next topic is about motherhood, and when women, because the men out here that are not doing what they're supposed to do for their kids. They're not there for their kids. They're not coming to get their kids. They're not doing the things they're supposed to do as men for their kids. And it's always an excuse of, oh, I don't feel good, or I'm not mentally good right now, or me and my girl's having problems, or I lost a job, or something like that. But moms can't do that. They can't say, okay, you know what I'm saying? I need a moment for y'all just to shut up and just don't talk to me and just leave me alone for about a month or two. Just don't talk to me. Mothers can't do that, but
right.
men do it a lot. But y'all don't understand the mental illness or the mental stress that we had in that relationship will get us to not come around because just the sight of you brings back that mental stress because y'all didn't work on it during the marriage or the relationship. So when y'all had a bad divorce or a bad breakup, every time he sees you, he is going to think that way. His mental is going back. It's not a good excuse for it, and it's not the kids shouldn't get the blame for it. But I'm just giving y'all another perspective and view of why men do it. I'm not saying it's right because I know it's wrong as hell. It is definitely wrong, and anybody who does it, I think you saw it. But
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that, that definitely is a reason.
I hate that, that happens. And I see the children suffering. You know what I mean? That's the part that gets to me. And I wish that, first off, you need to be careful who you lay down with. And I know the stuff may be good, them strokes may be hitting every spot, but you have to be careful who you lay with because trauma begets trauma. When we have issues going on and there's issues between, parents, those kids see that and guess what? They're going to carry that on. So this is the point where I think us, certainly as Black people, I'm just gonna throw that out there. We need to sit down and learn how to talk to
Yes.
each other. We definitely need to. I mean, I've seen so many times where women are like, "Hey, I just had a baby, and I just wanted him. I just want the child support money. I didn't really want to deal with him, but I want the child support money." And the man may be there 24/7, but it's like a punishment to have a child with a certain woman. You know what I mean? Like, the man is there, he's taking care of
Yeah.
her children, but you want to put him on child support to prove a point. That's not what child support is for. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of pettiness that goes on between us as Black people. We got to stop doing that and have communications. But we're letting our children suffer. And that's why our children are being raised by the streets. That's why they're using drugs. That's why they're
Hmm.
in prison. This is the foundation of it. Us, our communication and how we working together. This is it. And it all starts with what you said
It
earlier
does.
when
It
it comes
is.
to safe place and everything. It's all this. It's a cycle.
Yes, it's a cycle that we need to actually break. The cycle needs to actually be broken down. It doesn't need to be carried on to generation to generation to generation. So, like the little kids that you have right now, whatever you're going through with your um, baby mom or your child's mother, however you want to call her, um, whatever you have going on with her, it's going to, and this is a person that suffers from mental illness. I'm telling you this from a person that suffers with mental illness and a person that is going through a child thing, working and stuff like that. Suck that shit up. You have to. You're going to have to suck that up and man up because your kids need you more than anything. So mentally, you have to get right. Whatever you need to do to get right, make sure you get right. Doesn't matter what it is, counseling, talk to your boys, do whatever you need to do to get right so you can be there for your kids. I had so much bad anger. I had the worst anger issues ever in my marriage. And I had to fix that. I fix myself now because I have to be good for my daughter. If I'm not good for my daughter, then I'm not good for anybody. So I had to make sure that I got my emotions and my feelings and I got all that in check so I won't be that way anymore. So I can be good for my daughter. So men, we have to suck this up because our
Mhm.
kids need us out here. That's why they're on these streets. That's why they're getting killed every day. That's why they're on drugs. They're doing all this stuff because we're not there for them. Men have to be in their son's life and they have to be in their daughter's life. They have to be in those kids' life. It doesn't matter. People always say, "Well, they really need to be in a no. They really need to be a son's and daughter's life, both of them.
Yeah.
If you got a
Yeah.
daughter, you need to be in her life to show her how to protect her and to show her if you're a good man, show her what a real man is supposed to be when she gets with somebody. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we need to be there, and we need to stop. And when the mother of your child needs that break, give her that break because she can't just leave. She can't be gone for 2 months and just pop back up. Kids
Yeah.
need to eat. Kids need to get the education. Kids need to get out the house. What are they going to do? Because you're not going to come around. So if she can't take that break, so you have to give her that time. It doesn't matter if y'all
Yeah.
together or not. You still got to give her that time.
Yeah. And that's similar to the situation I'm going through with my ex-husband. I was suffering mentally, and I do have, I'm dealing with mental issues, anxiety, depression, all those things. But he had to take my child because even though we fought and we were getting into it and it was affecting my son, I knew the importance of him being in my son's life and being there. So I had to put my little petty stuff aside and stop trying to, oh, I don't want you to talk to him. It's too late, whatever. No, you can take a few minutes to talk to our child. And it got to the point where I saw my son struggling. And I told my son and I told my ex-husband, I said, one thing I can't do is I can't teach him how to be a man, but I can teach him how to treat a woman. And the first thing I did was I had him go live with his father because he needed that manly structure. He needs to see that. And so I think that was the thing, like learning how to put my pettiness aside, learning how to, communicate with him where I was struggling. It hurts me to this day that he doesn't live with me, but I know that mentally, I had to have that conversation with my ex-husband, even though we were battling back and forth. I had to say, look, I'm sorry for what I did. I was wrong, but I need to be better for my child. And the only way I can do that is if you can just give me a second and just take care of him until I figured this thing out because I was suicidal. Think about having your son walk around the house and you're suicidal and you're screaming at your child. And, just think about that. But you're so mad at yourself and you hate yourself that you're putting it on your child and your ex husband. So even at that moment when he tried to help, I was like, I got this, or I don't want you dealing with him because, or I want to keep him with me and, being selfish. But I had to release that. And so, we both, this is where we have to, as parents, we have to learn how to co parent. We have to be there for each other and let each other have those breaks as needed. And it's not the fact that we don't care about the child, the fact that we don't want to be in our child's life, but for us to be good for ourselves or good for our child, we have to be good for ourselves first. So that's my feeling on that
Yes,
one.
we definitely have to do that and not be selfish. Not be selfish. It's all about the child. You have a child together, and y'all not together. Y'all just need that to be together.
Mm-hmm.
That's your child's mom. She's dating somebody. She's dating somebody.
Yep. And
Don't
don't
stress her
talk
out.
about,
That's my baby
yeah,
mama. She can't date nobody.
right. And don't talk about each other. That's one thing that I hate. If don't talk about each other with your child. That will cause your child will be so confused. If I go to my child and tell him that your dad sucks or whatever, do you know that tears a child up? Don't do that. That's another thing we have to stop doing. So, yeah. Uplift each other. Even though you hate each other, just do it for the child.
No, but as men, we do need to uh think about that the mental of the woman also. I know we were talking earlier about the mental of the man, but we also got to think about the mental of the female also. Because mental illness in relationships is something that is never talked about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I have anxiety and I was diagnosed bipolar. So woman that dates me is and I'm Aquarius, so you know what I'm saying. It's like
Oh
I got
Lord.
a whole bunch of stuff on me.
So how does that work as far I would say this as a man, right? And we talk about transparency. How does that work as far as dating? Like when do you feel like it's okay to tell a woman like, look, I'm dealing with these, I have mental health issues. Like when do you feel like or mental health going on? When do you feel like it's appropriate to tell the woman about what's going on in your life?
I tell her the first date. I don't know. First
Mm,
date. I'm telling you from the jump. So it won't be something that just pops up. It happens, and then I explain to you later on. So
mm,
in my right mind, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that if I go into that wrong mind, which I really am working on it, and it's been doing pretty good. And I get on that, if I get on that bad side, that it happens, and then you won't be like, well, you never told me that this happened. You never told me that you did this. You never told me you did that. I give a breakdown of the things that I don't give them like super detailed stuff, but I let them know the things that I've gone through in my life. So
do
I
you
let them know.
sometimes feel judged? You know what I'm saying? Because when we talk about that transparency, like some people you can't be transparent with right away. So when you do it, or do you in the back of your head have that fear, like, okay, I may tell this person, but she may throw it back in my face later, or she may not be ready to, you know what I'm saying, receive it. Like, how do you like you just
No, if
tell
I
them?
tell you from the jump, if I tell you from the jump, and you judge me for it, then you wasn't meant for me. I'm
Right.
not gonna. I'm not. I have a girl right now, but I'm not gonna stop. And I told her from the jump too. I'm not feeling. So this is me. This is who I am, and this is what I want. This is what I want in a relationship.
I'm
We're
scary.
we're,
Like I
we're,
can't do
we're we're
that.
doing it. So
Yeah. This to me,
you
I
said
think
what?
that you're vulnerable like that, but I'm scared. Like I don't tell a guy that about my mental health concerns until like later. You know what I mean? Like I have to feel comfortable with
Well,
you to
how
tell you, huh?
how late are we talking about here?
Probably like 30 days. I got
So
to date
in
for a
them
little bit
30
because I've
days.
dated 90 days. 90
So
days.
in these 90 days, are y'all actually so you're dating? You're just y'all are not exclusive. Y'all are just going on dates, dating, figuring each other out, right? Y'all not exclusive. Y'all not boyfriend, girlfriend, dating like that. Y'all just going out. Y'all talking,
So yeah,
basically.
yeah, so we're talking, but we're at that point where we know that there's gonna be something more. You know what I mean? Like we're dating, we're enjoying each other, but we know that we want to exclusively be with each other. We just haven't put a title on it, if that's what you want to call it. Um, but it's just we're, together, but I just wait till I would say, I don't know, 30 days because my triggers come out bad when I date. My triggers, my insecurities come out bad. Like I will sit there and I'm like, okay, if he's on the phone, I'm like, okay, is he cheating? If he doesn't answer the phone, I'm like, is he cheating? You know what I'm saying? Like I really have to be honest. So, and then I hear those words like, dang, you might be crazy. When you hear that, it's like, oh my God, it scares me. So right now dating is scary for me because number one, I'm scared to be vulnerable because we don't talk about mental health in the Black community and nobody really wants to understand it. They just use these terms crazy. So to me, it's like, I don't know how to say it right off the bat without them coming back and saying I'm crazy. You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel
So
like,
here's the thing, though. This is the
huh?
thing. Here's the thing. If they come off to you and say that you're crazy from the jump, that person's not meant for you. Because that
Hmm.
means that person won't be there to understand or be able to work with that. So automatically, that's not the person that got built for you.
Right.
So it is what it is. So that's why I have to hit it up from the jump. And it is a conversation. You sit down, you're talking and everything, and you just you. What I do is I pull the conversation into that area. Use a recruiter, you know how to,
Hmm.
I would say manipulate, but how to run the conversation the way that you want it to be ran.
Correct.
So I run the conversation that way. So when that part comes up, I'm able to say what I need to say, and then we can just have a conversation. I don't have to worry about running anything, but we had that conversation because it's already put out there. And then if you like it, or if you can think you can deal with it, because I'm giving it to you raw. I'm gonna let you know this is my I have anxiety. So sometimes if we're talking, or if I don't answer the phone, or if I text you and something like that, and it doesn't sound right, I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting you know that sometimes my anxiety is that bad. Or if bipolar pops in, which doesn't happen that much now, I make sure I take my medicine, but I might just have attitude for no reason. I might just have an attitude for no reason, and you didn't do anything, so don't take it personal. Please don't take it
Hmm.
personal because it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you. I just need my
Yeah.
time. Just don't walk on eggshells, but I just need that time. And I let them know that. And if they can handle that from the beginning, then we'll see how it goes. But if you can't handle that from the beginning, I'm not about to spend no money.
Yeah. And I think that's what we need to hear. And I'm not just saying this from my point of view. But I'm just saying in general, like a lot of us women have a hard time expressing ourselves when it comes to mental illnesses, our mental health concerns. And so I'm always careful. I still wait to tell them. That's just me. That's just my comfort level until I know like I can trust you or I know you can handle it. I'll just say I know you can handle it. That's when I say it, when I tell them. But I have had a lot of women who come to me and talk to me about like, hey, how do you date? Knowing if you're bipolar, if you have schizophrenia, whatever the case may be. And so sometimes I will always tell people like, don't date until you're ready to date. Like until you know how to date, because if you have so many insecurities, you're going to project your insecurities on that person. You're going to project your pain on somebody that hasn't even done nothing to you. And then it's going to be a cycle. You're going to keep on going through things. So when it comes to mental health, I definitely would say if you're dating, just kind of sit back and make sure you're ready. It's okay to be alone, yeah, you may be lonely, but it's only temporary. But don't it's okay. It's okay to be alone. Take a second to reevaluate yourself. You know what I mean? But that's just that's just me. It's just my views. I don't know
I
how
don't like
you.
the word. I don't like the word lonely. I hate the word
Yeah.
lonely because people think that
Mhm.
when you just because you don't have someone that you're actually lonely.
Right.
It's not lonely. It's just
You just
don't have
alone.
anybody at this moment. That
Yeah.
don't mean they're lonely
Yeah. But that's the
by
term
yourself
that
because
is
you want
used.
something to talk about it.
Yeah, but that's the term that's used,
Yeah,
lonely.
it's something that's
But
used.
yeah. But I like to me, I like being alone. And I'm at the point where I think
Yeah,
when
I
I
think
start,
that's. I think everybody just like
huh? I think being alone
so
is
you
good.
delayed. You're delayed
No,
because you got that Boost Mobile over there.
no, you're delayed because you got that cricket. Stop playing. No, but I like being alone. I had to learn. I really had to learn, understand what being alone meant. Like, because I was searching for, I was going through mental health concerns, depression, everything, and I was looking for love through somebody else. I was looking for fulfillment through somebody else. That's what was messing me up. Because I'm like, oh, he gives me everything I need, the happiness. He
Hmm.
takes me out. He does this. He cooks for me, whatever. I love that. I want that. And that's what was messing me up in dating. So when I sat back and I was like, I don't need to date. I need to make myself happy. That's when it started coming. That's when it started clicking for me. But yeah, that's just my views. You be having a face like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. I'm a
No,
little
because
deep.
women. No, no. That's why we this need to be the you on the show. But I just feel that when it comes to mental health of men, um, and especially inside of relationships, our mental health really isn't talked about as much
Mm,
as it is a woman. Because a woman in a relationship or anything, just mental health period for black men is how I'm gonna put that. For black men, is it's very hard to um, for anybody to help us because we're always getting judged. Um, I'm gonna say this. How am I say this without being canceled? But black women, y'all give us hell. Y'all will give us hell, and we cannot say nothing back. Like so in that video that I sent you, it also was talking about what the dude say. He said that what did he say about giving us hell? We can never. Oh, if you like, we won't start arguing with y'all because y'all are better um communicators. Y'all are better at the words. Y'all better at wordsmith. Y'all wordsmith is immaculate. So we're not going to express ourselves because we're not going to go back and forth with you because we know we're going to lose. So there's no point of us going back and forth for something that we know is pretty much not going to happen.
mm, yeah, yeah, we just know how to get under your skin. We do. We know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and we will tear you up. That's just us. But there's so much power in the tongue. And even though we say men traumatize, women we traumatize just as much. So I would say, women we can get dirty. And we know that. We know that. We 100% know that. And that's why we have to be careful what we say because hurt people hurt people. We really do. But then
I was
sometimes,
going to say that in a minute. I was going to say that.
yeah,
Hurt people.
yes. And then sometimes we thinking, oh, we ain't gonna hurt a man. He gonna come back from it. He gonna bounce back. But I have seen men, even my own brother, when he gets hurt, when he got hurt, it was different. Like women will, we'll bet. we'll be sad, we'll cry, and then we'll bounce back. But for men, it's like when you break their heart or you do something shady or you disrespect them, they become this monster. And then I feel like every woman had to suffer until he realized, like every woman suffered. And we don't realize it, but then we'll say, oh, he hurt me. No, we didn't. Or he broke my heart. No, he didn't break our heart. Your mouth caused him to act the way he did. You broke your own heart. You put your foot in your mouth. Seriously, we blame men. We do victim. We do that a lot. And they say, oh, women are narcissists, men are narcissists. No, women we can be that too. It's not just a men thing. Women can do that too. So I would say we definitely have to be careful because a lot of hurt men are walking around here because of us. A lot of them. I see it in your face. You got something to
I
say.
can say that I can say that I can say that I did that. I can say that I had uh, a woman that hurt me, and the women up until now, even my ex-wife, who I was married to for 13 years, even her, all of us, all of them got that monster. All of those relationships after that woman got that monster. And that monster
So
was bad. That monster was bad.
wow. So when did you realize? I mean, 13 years, that's a long time. So when did you realize, like, okay, look, I gotta stop doing this? When did the light bulb come on for you with that?
Um, I think light bulb was on for me for a while, but it came to a point of um, me realizing that I wasn't happy and me cheating. So I did it the wrong way. I did, but that monster was still there. That monster was still out. And then once I did cheat and I saw what I did, I woke up.
Mm.
So it was because that's what happened to me. So that's why that monster was there because that I got cheated on and I got the woman was my first ex-wife and she got pregnant and had an abortion. So that right there, all that hurt me. So I pretty much I pretty much just was a monster. I had a couple of females I dated after that, and I know that they got that monster. I know they definitely did get that monster.
Wow. So did you ever reach out to them and say, you know what, I was wrong, or apologize for your actions, or you just kind of like let it go?
I'm not trying to get fixed up. No, not doing that. Not trying to get cussed out. That's not gonna happen. But if you see the podcast, I'm sorry. Yeah,
You
y'all
so
know who y'all
talented.
are. I did do some things. I don't know what's what we say. I did some things. I said some things. I was mean as hell, but it was that monster that was there. I did it the wrong way. I was immature, but that monster was there, and that monster isn't there no more. So my girl now has like the best part of me. So
I just feel
apologize to
like we
everybody else.
I feel like we have to reach back, and I mean, I don't know, when I heard my apology from my ex, it gave me closure. And everybody's not going to apologize, I get it, and you may have to, but for some reason it hit different when I actually got an apology. It was like, so it wasn't me that made you like this. It wasn't me. I wasn't the bad person, you know what I'm saying? Because a woman, when we get hurt, we think it's us, something that we do, that we did to cause, you know, or we're not good enough. Like, man, I couldn't change him, I couldn't make him better, I wasn't good enough for him. So when I got that apology, it hit different. Like, it was like, okay, I felt like I could move on. I don't know why, but I had already thought I moved on, but I definitely felt like I could move on. So I would say,
But
if anybody out there, just apologize.
and you just said something that will definitely be a topic one day. Hopefully hopefully soon. Um, you said that you in that relationship and you couldn't change him. A man is going to change for himself. He's not going to change for a relationship. I can tell you that he's not. He's never going to change for a relationship. He's going to want to have to change for himself. I wanted to change for myself. I didn't want to change because of my relationship. I needed to be a better man. So that's what I changed for. And when I did that, I felt better. I walked better. I talked better. God blessed me better. I don't know. It was just a different feeling. But that man, he definitely is going to have to be the one to make that change. So, women, please, I beg you, stop trying to change a man. If you try to change a man to make him who you want him to be, years down the road, when he figures out that happened, he's going to be a beast. He is going to have no feelings, no nothing, because he's going to figure out that you are the one who made him this way. You're the one who made him not be the person that he is. He's going to terribly, terribly blame you for that. And he is going to be a savage and he's not going to care about your feelings. I'm telling you that from experience. I just did it. Yeah. So, ladies, stop trying to change a man. If that man is not who you want him to be, then that's not the man for you. Move on to someone else.
It's because we date. Sometimes we date for the potential. We don't date for the person that we see. So for me, I was like trying to change this guy. Like, okay, he's cool, but let's get his credit up. I was doing all the things thinking I was elevating him. Like that was my mindset at that time. So you're talking about, this is me 10 years ago. I'm 41 now. So this is me 10 years ago. You know what I mean? I was always having hush and younger. And so at that time, I thought that I could do that. I dated off potential. I dated like, he's such a great guy. He's so cool. He's business minded, which it was a whole bunch of BS. He was just telling me, reading things and wasn't applying himself. But in my head, I saw the person that I thought he could be. And that's when it went wrong, because I thought for myself, I could change him. And I end up hurting, like you said, hurting him and hurting me. But that's what we want. We don't want to be alone. So guess what? We date somebody for who we think they are, the potential, and try to save everybody. And women and men, you cannot save people. You cannot save them at all. Please stop. I did that for I just realized this. I cannot save somebody. I just realized this in my later years. So I'm telling you, look, date them for who they are, not for who you want them to be or who they may become. Date them for what you see right now in your face. Like, yeah, don't try to change them.
And that's why I say that mental illness talk from the jump, because I'm letting you know who I am from the jump. I'm being transparent. I'm not hiding anything. So I'm gonna let you know who I am from the jump. So either you take it or you leave it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Either you take it or you leave it. I'm never gonna be lonely. I might be by myself, but I'm never gonna be lonely because I'm an only child. So I'm just on myself.
Yeah.
That hurt me. No, everybody always says that I have that. I don't give a F, but that's not what it is. It's that I was raised by myself. I was raised by myself with my mom, and my mom didn't force me to do stuff I didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? She didn't force me to be around people I didn't want to be around. My mom respected me, and I respected her. So, you know what I'm saying? She raised me. I think she raised me pretty well, but she raised me to be independent. So I'm independent. So I really don't have to do something.
Yeah. I think the mental health part is so taboo. Like it's people are not ready. I don't know. For some reason, they're not ready to have that conversation. And it just may be from the people that I have came across. And this is, you'll meet somebody who's ready. But I'm just saying, in the past, it's something that you just, when you have conversations like that, it's like, oh, I can't deal with that, or I don't want to deal with someone who has, is dealing with mental health. Like, it's, I don't know, just some people run from it. That's what I have dealt with, and I have people who accept it and who haven't. But people have to realize, someone who
They do.
may struggle with mental health, it does not mean that they're going to kill you or do anything. Like, we have to have those conversations. We definitely have, because a lot of people haven't and haven't even been diagnosed. When you have those outbursts, when you want to fight somebody, when you are drinking all the time, when you smoking all the time, there's something maybe going on that you really don't understand. And before you judge somebody because they tell you, or because they have, been diagnosed, like, maybe you should check yourself. A lot of people have it. So I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what that mental in that relationship is. You don't know what you have, and you just doing stuff, and then you're like, okay, the other person like something's wrong with you. You're like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Like, you off. Something's wrong with you, and then you go to that next relationship doing the same exact thing you was in the last relationship, and you're gonna blame it on that person instead of blaming it on yourself. So I know what my fault is. Everybody, you should know, as a man, as a black man, own up to your faults. Own up to what you know you can't do. Own up to the things that are hurting you, that your ailments are. I know I have anger management issues. I know that I had some self-esteem issues. But own up to it. It's not gonna make you soft. It's not gonna make you soft at all. But I can tell you that, if you think that it's gonna make you soft, run up on me. I'm definitely not soft. So I'm just saying, it's not gonna make you soft. So just speak your mind and do what you gotta do. But I'm telling you, it's not gonna make you soft. Like I said, run up on me and see what happens. I can tell you how soft that is. It's not gonna make you soft.
So what do you think can make the dating, or I say dating, or communication better with black couples? Like, what do you think is lacking? What do you think is lacking in the dating world for black couples?
So for black couples, I think what's lacking is
Mm-hmm.
honesty.
Mm.
I think honesty is lacking because of the stigma that people have on one black couples, two black men and three black women. So we live up to that stereotype, and we act a certain way. We see shit on Atlanta Housewives, or we see stuff on Hip Hop Atlanta, and we think that we're supposed to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at the celebrity lives as us. And I was talking about that with my girl the other day. I was like, celebrity love does not, it's not real. It's not real at all. Look at Jada and Will, what just happened with them. It's crazy. They've been separated for 7 years. Are you serious? You've been separated since 2015. Like, that's crazy. Like, you've been separated this long, and people think that your husband slapped a man for you. He slapped a man for you. That's staged. So I'm just saying, like, you just have to pretty much be honest with each other and be honest with yourself. If you're not ready to be in that relationship because she a dime, you think you just want to be with her, don't do that, bro. I'm saying that dime probably wasn't for you. You're saying you probably your person is probably a 5 or 6. But you think because you got that dime, you try to be in this relationship with her, and y'all not even on the same level. So
Yeah.
don't go off or go off of that. Go off of you're actually having a connection, a real connection. If you don't have that connection, then don't do it for looks. I'm saying don't do it for looks at all, because that one chick that you think that is not the finest out there might be that one that's going to treat you right.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, though. You see, I can't wait till we talk about this topic probably another time. But I'm trying to read everybody's comments. But when I see a lot of when she said when Black people say they have mental health issues, people automatically think the worst. Yeah, that is so true. Um, and that's one thing. When you talk about Jada and Will and everything, I was shocked. I really was. I was, because they act like, they were so in tune, and then the entanglement happened and all that came out. And so it's like, I feel like they had this fake persona about what love, because everybody's like, I want that Will and Jada love. I don't know if you heard songs about them, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody was
Yep.
jealous of them. So it's just interesting that, like, when you said honesty is lacking, but also like talk about the hard stuff, like what did you get to make, like how did y'all, when you're in a bad relationship, like how did y'all make it to a in a relationship, how did y'all make it to um to 20 something years? Like when you talk here, Denzel Washington and his wife, how they made it, communication, keeping their stuff private, um being friends first. You know what I mean? Like we need to get back to that foundation. So I think that's what I think as well. Like we got to get back to that foundation. Like what is really love? Like not what we see on TV, like you mentioned earlier. Like what we're different. We're not like everybody else. Like we're different. It's important to have what you say. It's important to have conversation when it's comfortable. That's true. Definitely true.
No, it's important to have the conversation when it's uncomfortable. Both
Mm.
y'all need to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is being uncomfortable. So it needs to happen when both y'all are vulnerable and uncomfortable, so y'all both can understand where each other are coming from, and both um, actually let it impact you.
But see, you know what? For me,
Like vulnerability.
I can't have a conversation when I'm uncomfortable. Like I have to have a conversation when I'm comfortable enough to talk to you about it, but I can't have one when I'm uncomfortable, because that's when my anxiety kicks in.
So
So
that's
I think,
vulnerability.
yeah, but
That's vulnerability. That's vulnerability. The person that you're with should be able to help you with that anxiety at that time. So if you are with a person that you actually vibe with and y'all are in good connection, when he sees you in that moment of anxiety and your uncomfortability, he should be able to help you and show you that you don't have to have that anxiety, because he's not going to judge you for what you're saying. He's not going to judge you for the way that you work. He's going to help you through that situation so you'll be able to talk to him and have that conversation so y'all can build that foundation of the relationship.
so
So you have to be vulnerable and uncomfortable.
okay. So I would say comfortable in my vulnerability. That's the only way I could say it. Where I'm comfortable enough to
Yes,
be
comfortable in
vulnerable.
your vulnerability.
I'm saying, yeah,
Yes,
that's how I
yes,
feel it, because I'm
that
telling you, I will be, if I'm uncomfortable having a conversation with you. And the reason why I say this is because what I do as a survivor, I talk about all the stuff, and I wasn't ready to discuss that when I was uncomfortable. I was ready to discuss that when I was comfortable in being vulnerable, comfortable being uncomfortable. I'll say that. I
right.
had to be comfortable with it first, though. I had to be okay with it first before I release, it to somebody else. So I kind of see what she's saying, you know, but
Yeah, I see it from that side now. When you see it like that, I see it from that side. Yeah, you do
yeah.
have to be comfortable with uncomfortable.
Yes, be
Yeah.
friends and get to know each other first. Then you know what you're getting into. Yes, definitely have to be friends. Definitely. I think friendship, I think that's what we're lacking a lot, friendship and relationships.
Yeah.
We're lacking a lot. Because you know what? I will say this. This is a funny thing. I was looking at my grandparents. I was like, man, I want that type of relationship. But they were not friends. Only reason why Papa stayed around, and I'm just not just saying my Papa, just saying in general, only why some people Papa stayed around was to be there for the kids, and he didn't want to look bad. I don't want that type of relationship. I want a relationship where I am friends. I don't want that old 1960, 1930, 40. And sometimes we have this mindset that we need to be like our grandparents or great great grandparents, because what we've seen where Black families stay together, but Black families stay together sometimes for the wrong reasons. So how I move forward now is that I want to be friends with who I'm with. I want to get to know you and not just stay with you for the kids, or stay with you so nobody looks bad at me or looks down at me for having a baby out of wedlock, whatever the situation may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely is going to that. We're looking back on that, and people aren't back then. People they weren't happy. They stayed together, but they definitely wasn't happy. They definitely was not happy at all. They were miserable, and they were in that marriage, and they hated each other. They slept in separate beds. They slept in separate rooms. But they would still together. You see them at dinner. They're saying, "Oh, look at this grandma and grandpa. They still together in 50 years." And in the back of their mind, they're thinking, "If this dude tripped down, or this lady tripped down the stairs, I wouldn't even help. I can't stand this shit." You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So, and doing that. I don't want to make a mistake and trip my wife down the stairs because I don't want to. I just want to get rid of her. I didn't want to divorce her though. I've been with her. How about that? No, I'm not trying to be in that kind of relationship. No.
Yeah. So when she said the friends, that brought back to me. I'm like, man, we are dating. How we think of dating and marriage is we always revert back. We don't have that papa and granny love, but that they were unhappy. We have to make sure we're in situations that are in marriages and relationships where we are happy, fully happy, and we're not just pulling from each other. Like, we're not just one person is doing more than the other. We both have to come together. I think that's the biggest issue with dating. Dating is that we don't work together. We're against each other. We don't trust each other. We just like the way you look. You may cook. You may throw that thing back at me a few times. You know what I'm saying? But we're not looking at the full picture. Can I grow old with you? Can I do this? So I think that's one thing we're missing
You
too.
got to pour into each other.
Yes.
You have to be able to pour into each other. If you're not pouring into each other, then you got two empty vessels. Y'all have to be able to pour into each other. Y'all pouring in love. Y'all pouring in knowledge. Y'all pouring in support. Y'all pouring in everything. I mean, so when y'all are both full, y'all become married.
Right.
But during that relationship phase, y'all are both trying to fill each other up. That's what y'all are supposed to be doing.
Because woman, you know what? We push marriage. I will tell you this: with my ex-husband, I pushed marriage on him. He wasn't ready, but I was ready, right? I thought I was. That wasn't a good look. Don't force anybody to marry you. Don't force anybody to marry you. No, they were not. Never going out together except for family gathering. Yep. That's loneliness. Well, we say we weren't gonna say loneliness, but I see. You don't like that one?
No, I hate the word loneliness because everybody takes it as that being that negative thing. Because lonely, just because somebody is not with somebody does not mean they're lonely. That's not what it means. And us single, and us only children, and nobody understands us, but we don't really give a damn. Straight up, we really don't. We don't care about being by ourselves. We are the biggest introverts of all time. We can go to work and joke around with them people all day, all night, go home and not pick up the telephone at all. Not text me back at all. So the person that's on here that's with the comments, that's my mom. She
That's your
always
mom?
gets on me about So she always gets on me about not finishing text messages. Sometimes I just in the house, I feel like I'm texting you. That's why I don't be on the phone because I want to just end the conversation. And that's on text message, you can just stop saying anything and the conversation is ended. So I'm good. Because I'm used to being by myself. I'm not alone, but I'm used to being by myself.
So is your new relationship, does she understand that part that and are you willing to compromise?
I compromise. She knows that side, but I still compromise.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a new me. So you know what I mean? It's a new me. The new me is willing to compromise. That beast was not ready to compromise. That beast didn't care. That monster didn't care. So compromising no, I'm not compromising for nobody. Now I compromise. I do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I gotta do to make sure that my woman is happy because she's doing the same thing for me. And I know that she's doing the same thing for me. She's doing everything she can to make me happy. I'm gonna do the same thing to make her happy. If that means that I gotta compromise with some things that I don't feel like I should have to compromise on, Then I'm gonna try to make it happen.
Mm, I feel you. Okay, well, you speaking the truth. Yeah, he just talked. Yeah, he just stopped talking without conversation. Mom over here calling you out.
I already
At
said
least
it.
I know, but she called it. She let it be known. She calling you out too.
Oh well.
But
So
no,
we've been on here
good.
for a while. Got to get our we got to keep some good stuff for the next episode. You know what I'm saying? So just
Yeah.
remember every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central, and whatever time it is, other times. It is what it is. We see y'all later. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a great weekend. Don't do anything crazy. And remember, Mental Health Month is this month. I didn't know that. Somebody told me Mental Health Month is this month. So go out there, get screened, get talk to some people, do some things. And take care of your mental health. And I also want to give a shout out to my daughter Lily. Tomorrow's her birthday. October 13th. She'll be 11 years old. So happy birthday, Lily. Other than that, Miss Keys, you got anything else you want to lay down for the people?
No, it was good. Good conversation. I mean, we got some stuff that we can use next time. So it was good conversation. So I'm excited to talk about more things. So make sure y'all tune in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Again, her she'll leave Boost Mobile at that time, and her functions on her mic and her being in the actual conversation and not waiting for a minute. She'll get that fixed because that Boost Mobile is really killing her over
Go to bed.
there. All right, we out. Peace.